If you look at Lisa and feel like she was simply born to be this way, I want to offer you a different lens for a moment. In Western astrology, there's something called the core trinity. It's not complicated, but it's incredibly revealing. It represents three essential layers of a person: who you are at your core, how you feel and process life internally, and how the world sees you the moment you walk into a room. In Lisa's case, this structure is unusually clear. Her sun is in Aries, her moon is in Scorpio, and her ascendant is in Leo. It almost reads like a perfectly cast character. Aries is the one who moves first, before certainty arrives. Scorpio is the one who holds everything beneath the surface and transforms pressure into power. Leo is the spotlight that doesn't need to be asked for, it simply happens. Now imagine a young girl, still figuring out the world, deciding to leave home and step into a completely different country, culture, and system. A place where competition is not just high, but constant. That decision alone already tells you something. That's Aries energy in motion. Aries is not reckless, it's instinctive. It doesn't wait for permission, and it doesn't need full clarity to begin. It responds to an inner signal that says, move. And once it decides, it commits forward. But courage alone doesn't sustain a long journey. Reality eventually tests everyone. This is where her moon in Scorpio becomes essential. Scorpio is not about ease, it's about depth. It's the ability to sit with discomfort without needing to immediately escape it. It processes emotions privately, often silently, and turns intensity into control. Think about the environment she entered. Constant evaluation, comparison, pressure to perform, pressure to improve. For many, that kind of environment becomes overwhelming. For someone with strong Scorpio, it becomes refining. Instead of breaking, it compresses and sharpens. This is why when you observe her, there's a noticeable sense of composure. Not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. Emotional discipline that doesn't draw attention to itself, but quietly supports everything else. Then comes the ascendant in Leo. Leo doesn't create ability, it reveals it. It gives form to presence. It's the difference between being capable and being seen. You've probably noticed that some people step on stage and try to perform, while others step on stage and simply exist there, fully. The room responds differently to those two energies. Lisa belongs to the second group. When she performs, it doesn't feel like she's becoming someone else. It feels like something within her is being allowed to come forward, without resistance. This is where all three elements align. Aries initiates, Scorpio stabilizes and controls the internal intensity. Leo expresses it outwardly in a way that people can recognize and connect with. What people often describe as she becomes a different person on stage is not transformation in the literal sense, it's activation. It's the same system, fully online. If we zoom out even further, this combination forms a complete cycle. Aries represents beginnings, Scorpio represents transformation, Leo represents expression. Start, refine, radiate. Many people have talent, but hesitate to begin. That's a weak Aries expression. Some begin strongly, but struggle under pressure. That's where Scorpio is not fully engaged. Others develop deeply, but remain unseen because they don't express outwardly. That's Leo left unused. In Lisa's case, these three are not just present, they are connected. And that's an important distinction, because in astrology, everyone has all 12 signs within their chart. The difference is not in having or not having. The difference is in awareness and usage. Her story is not about possessing something rare that others lack. It's about activating what is already there, at the right moments, in the right way. That's why her success feels consistent, not accidental. And this is where the perspective shifts. You don't need to become Lisa, but you can understand the structure she is operating from. You can notice where your own Aries hesitates when it should move, where your Scorpio avoids depth when it should stay, where your Leo holds back when it should allow itself to be seen. Because growth doesn't come from imitation, it comes from alignment. Starting a little earlier than you feel ready, staying a little longer when things get uncomfortable, and expressing a little more of who you actually are. When those three begin to work together, something changes. You don't need to force visibility anymore. What you carry begins to show on its own.